Yo, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Last Act podcast. I am your host, Carlos Rodriguez, and with me, as always, is the great, the talented Brandon Gailey.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, yeah, and today, guys, we have a special episode, our first formal episode. We have in the room with us right now the great, the wonderful, the incredible Jacob Stacey. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous today. How about you, Carlos?
I cannot complain. I mean, I'm here with you, and I love you. I respect you, man. But before I, cut to anything, I want to ask you a question. How did you get to where you are right now? What made you the Jacob that we all know and love?
I think a lot of it has to go back to a lot of my past experiences. Like a good majority of 8th grade was me terrorizing my teachers. We had Miss Mathis' class together. You know how much she hated
Oh
me.
yeah,
A lot. That was a big learning experience for me. A lot of freshman year was a big awakening. It was a lot of experimenting with the people I like, and just kind of finding my group of people, shaping the person I am today. It was a lot of work, but I don't know. I feel like it's paid off. I feel like I'm a better person than I was a couple of years ago, especially.
yeah. I think middle school really shaped all of us. I know that's how you and Brandon sort of, found your relationship right there. What class was it that you guys had?
It was our science class, 8th grade. What was it? Was it earth science or
It was
whatever?
Earth Science, and we had the student government class.
Yeah.
That
Oh my.
too.
Oh
Student
yeah.
government. That was a good class.
Dude, I hear nothing but great tales from your guys' student government class. Like, it's
Miss
always
Roberts,
the
if you're watching
craziest.
this, I'm sorry.
Dude,
Sorry,
Miss
wink, wink,
Roberts.
wink.
Yeah, Miss Roberts, if you're watching this, I'm not sorry because you did screw me over there for a bit. But oh, all right, Brandon. So, I mean, how did you know that Jacob was gonna be, your bro? Like, because I know you two sort of have that one friendship that is just unmatched.
Yeah, Jacob and I are very close friends, and I'm very happy to say that. Weirdly enough, I don't exactly remember when we started to meet and hang out. I think it was just a
Neither do I.
merge of student government in 8th grade, because I knew of Jacob from our previous science class in 7th grade. Um,
Did we have that class together?
yeah, we were in
Oh
seventh
shoot, I
grade.
didn't even know that.
Uh,
Eubanks, right? Eubanks.
yeah,
Yeah.
you always sat next to Kennedy, Jacob, and we made fun of you for it.
I did not know that.
Oh,
That's
right.
funny.
But anyway,
Didn't remember that.
we started hanging out more in mainly student government, and obviously becoming more friends in science. I remember our little antics with Miss Roberts, uh, countless
Yep.
stories, and our antics with our science teacher where we would. There was one time where we made bagels. It was peanut butter and jelly bagels, and then we sold
Yeah,
them
you
for
brought a
$1.
toaster into the classroom and plugged it into the back. Oh, that was so good, man.
Good memories. But yeah, over time we just began to hang out more, and the group in student government, student leadership, or whatever, uh, became like a friend group all of its own. Then we added people to it, and over that amount of time, we all became really good friends.
Yeah, the friend group that we sort of all, found. I was one of the later recruits. I know it was in my freshman year in Mazama when I started actually getting to know you guys a lot more, and
Yeah.
that's why But yeah, but something that sort of took me back a bit. And I mentioned to you this before, but it's how when I moved to where I moved, and then I came back, and then I saw you. I'm like, oh my god, this is an entirely different person. Like, what is this? Like, what happened? Like, how did? 'Cause I know you did wrestling, but I mean, was it
It was
deeper than that, or was it just wrestling that
the
got
quarantine
you?
grind, man. Like,
Oh yeah, I
honestly,
feel it, right.
I had nothing. I've lost it kind of. The last part of quarantine was a little bit of a downfall for me, especially because we had school and work and everything. But that first part of quarantine, man, I had literally nothing to do. So it was just working on myself, working out. Wrestling was a big part of that because I had to drop so much weight so fast. So I looked a lot thinner and more toned, especially during that part. But it was a lot of just trying to build and work on myself for a good majority of that. But I don't know. It's not too hard if you just set your mind to it and focus on yourself.
Yeah, it's all about the discipline. I think that's what
100%.
wrestling does. So that's like one of the biggest benefits that I myself took from. It's like it's the discipline, you know.
It
And
is, yeah.
yeah, but I mean, I'm not much into sports. I know Brandon here is. Like, do
He's a
you
sports guy.
think? Yeah, and but football is his, sort of like main thing, right? Or am I wrong?
I think
I'm more into
I
track.
think track. Yeah, I think track is a big
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can see that now.
sprinting. Usain Bolt out here taking these
Yeah,
laps.
yeah.
I'm trying.
But
Yeah, he's quick.
do you think? Because I mean, like, I always hear the argument between wrestling and football, like, which teaches you the more discipline. Like, what is the best sport?
I think
Brandon.
both. I think both. In my opinion, I think both of them kind of have their different like pieces of it. I think
Right.
wrestling is more about independent discipline, like disciplining yourself, and I think that football reinforces like teamwork and how to discipline other people. Because I feel like, when you see the football guys going out for their game, they're all like paired up together, bros. They're cheering each other on, like it's a lot of good like teamwork, and it teaches you those team skills and stuff like that. While in wrestling, there is a team, but a lot of it is solo discipline as well. Like if you don't work on yourself, you're not going to get anywhere, And so I think both of
Right.
them have very good. They teach you very good discipline lessons, in my opinion.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I 100% agree. I was gonna say like, oh, I think it's kind of they have their both unique qualities and all that. And Jacob said that first. I'm really happy that we didn't have like a little disagreement there. But I was gonna say that both have their own little thing because to get better at football, obviously on defense you have to learn how to tackle and you have to tackle low and all those things. And wrestling helps build that. If you do wrestling, you're almost guaranteed to become a better football player. But that also works vice versa. If you play football, you're almost most definitely going to be a better wrestler. Uh, so thinking of it in that perspective, they kind of cancel each other out. So you have to look at what Jacob said of how it teaches you certain things. And football is most definitely the more team, and wrestling is more independent. And it kind of depends on what kind of athlete you want to be. Do you want to wrestle against 1v1 and it's almost all about you, really? Or do you want to go and play with 22 men on the field and hit each other? It all depends on what you as a person would like to accomplish.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest benefits that you mentioned earlier. Sort of like you get to like really work on yourself when you're doing wrestling. When you're on the mat, it's like you alone. Like there's nothing else that can help you. And yeah, I mean, and I saw the difference. Like when I saw you, I'm like, oh my god, like Jacob, dude, and it's like it's deeper than that because I know you also do jujitsu, and
Yeah,
I'm
I've been
not.
doing
Yeah,
that
I'm
for ages.
right. And I'm not much like informed on jujitsu. I know about like the benefits and how it's like like it really improves your depression and anxiety and all these stuff. Like, is that true?
It's for me. It's like I don't know. I've been doing it for so long that it's kind of like part of my lifestyle now. Like I don't compete as much as some people do. For me, it's more of just like a hobby and teaches me like self defense and stuff like that. But it's very. It takes a lot of thinking. There's a lot of chaining things together. You can't just like muscle your way through something because there's guys that you'll do jujitsu with that are like 100 pounds heavier than you, and you could be like 110 pounds and wrestle a guy who's 250 and still beat him at 110 pounds. And so a lot of that is like there's a lot of mental game to it, and I think that's what it kind of distracts you from like everything else you have going on. It's a good little break to just kind of play around with people, have some fun. I enjoy it a lot. I think it's a good outlet for pretty much anything.
Yeah, seems legit. Seems legit. I mean, I've had some experience. I mean, with like martial arts. I know I did. What was it? Might be. What is it? Dang, I think it was just like normal kung fu. Uh,
That's sick.
I think I did
Mr.
that.
Jack Black out here. You're gonna become Kung Fu
Dude.
Panda.
You know it, yeah. What about you, Brandon? Any belts in your
Nah,
closet?
I thought about it, but I did one wrestling practice, and all of those meant like, oh, should I do this and that? Went out the window. It was from the outside perspective, not doing it, you're just like, oh, you just wrestle people for X amount of time, and that's kind of easy. But actually doing it, it's one of the most difficult practices I've ever had, and I've only done one of them. And the coach was like, "Oh yeah, this is one of the easier ones." And I gained so much respect for those guys and what they do, and it made me think that I'm not gonna do wrestling. I don't have the stamina to do it, and I'm not gonna do any kung fu, jujitsu, or anything else like that because I probably will get my ass kicked. So yeah, just
Yeah.
people who not shame, there's probably a better word, but shame wrestlers specifically for having like an easy sport. You should just do one practice and your entire mindset will be
Right.
changed.
Dude, yeah, it's so draining. Like even the practices, like you'll have like a 2 hour long practice. I'm like, damn, like what? It feels like a whole day because
It does.
Yeah.
it's such like an excruciating practice where you're just like there and it's like the same thing over and over again. You're hitting the mat, and it's like, fuck, like when is this gonna be over? But still, I mean, and I myself learned along the way that's like this isn't my thing. However, I still appreciate the lessons that this has taught me. You know, like the
100%,
whole
yeah.
the whole basic thing, like it's all about getting up at the end of the day.
100%.
Yeah, I was just about to say that when like even in the first practice that I had in the last practice, it was simply just get up. That was probably the number one thing I remember. I was wrestling one of my other closer friends, Savian, and he's one of the better wrestlers. He would obviously pin me over and over and over again, and I was just so tired, but I had to keep getting up. And I remember that it was like a 5 minute drill, and we would only be spending like 5 minutes on doing this one thing, and it was 30 seconds or something, and it felt like 20 years just went past by. But I had to keep getting up and keep wrestling Sabian, and then I had to keep pinning him. He had to keep pinning me, and it was just a practice of when you're in a real match, you're gonna have to keep getting up or you're gonna lose. I mean, that's just how it is.
100%.
Yeah, facts. So another thing that I kind of wanted to talk to you about, Jacob. I know like one of the biggest things that sort of brought us together was our interest, and I know that goes for Brandon as well. Our interest in like nerd culture. You know, I feel like and I didn't know that, and I mean like even like. Well, when was it? I think it was my my middle school days when I started like realizing like nerd culture is sort of the thing I'm want to subject myself to.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
because it's you meet like great people along the way, such as like yourself and like I know Ben. That's really how I got to know you guys as well. Was like our interest in like Marvel movies, like what's coming out. Are you still like into Marvel movies?
Sort of. I haven't really watched very much since Endgame. Endgame was kind of like the peak of it for me, and then I was like, I don't know if they can get any better from it. So I haven't, and I just haven't been really caught up to it because the only movie they've released since then, Far From Home, right?
Yeah.
It's been
I
like
think
what,
so.
2 years since that? How long has it been since Endgame came out?
It came out like last summer, I do believe.
I think it was 2 years. I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. No.
I think it's already been 2 years.
Dude, Endgame came out last year. No.
It did not come out. I don't think it came out last year.
Dude,
I think I'm pretty sure.
No, Carlos, what year did you move? Because it came out the year you moved.
I moved last year.
Yeah. Wait, no.
No, you didn't move last year.
No, you moved for freshman year. And freshman year is 2 years ago.
That was... It's 2020, right? So yeah, I moved
it's 2018.
2019. Yes, dude, I moved 2019, dog. I know when I moved. I moved in...
Did it? I feel like it came out 2018. Someone look this up. Someone look this up really quick.
Dude, no. Because Endgame came out literally 2 weeks after I left, dude.
I don't think it did.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure.
Dude, it came out April. Dude, trust me, it came out like April, I want to say 26th.
It came out the same.
Oh my god. April 26th, 2019.
What did I say?
What?
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you.
I swear it was 2018. Holy
Well,
cow, man.
Infinity
That
War
just proves
was like a year before
2018.
Endgame, so it's probably 2018.
That just proves how long this year has been. Holy cow, man.
Yeah, holy
There's
shit.
no way.
Oh my god.
That's
It's
nuts.
actually crazy, dude. But what kind of upset me about Endgame was how we didn't get to watch it as like the friend group, you know, like, and that's something that we always planned, you know, like after we
Yeah.
watched the Captain Marvel, we're like, yeah, Endgame's next. We're all gonna watch. We're gonna fill up the entire movie theater, and we are just gonna have the time of our lives. But it didn't happen, unfortunately.
I mean, I'm not saying that I'm glad that it didn't happen, but you know, after that Captain
Yeah.
Marvel experience,
Yeah.
I feel ya. I feel ya.
it was just
Yeah.
hectic in that movie theater, man. I was like, I was in Boise anyways when Endgame was on release date, so we bought tickets to like some random theater in downtown Boise and just watched it there. But we couldn't even like sit together with our family. We had to split up across the theater and like watch it
Really?
from yeah,
Oh,
try and
wow.
yoink seats from people before they got into the theater. But that was one of my
Dude.
favorites, honestly. That was a good. I'm glad that I got to watch that one on release date because I was like, if I get anything spoiled from this movie, I'm gonna be so burnt, man. I was looking forward to it for so long. Like the hype behind it was just incredible.
It's unmatched, right? Yeah, Brandon. I know Brandon didn't really enjoy it at first, and that's like
Yeah.
one of the more minority opinions in this is that, you know, it didn't live to its hype. And when I heard Brandon utter those words, I was just like, what? Like dude,
Slap
I don't know,
boxing.
I don't know how.
So
Right? Come on.
Infinity War was one of the first like Marvel movies I've ever seen, and I watched like Black Panther and like Thor Ragnarok, and that was like it before Infinity War. So when I watched Endgame the second time, that's when I watched all of the other movies in order, and it was so much better when you watch all the other movies because then you get all of the like secret things that they put in those movies and like the things that reference back to the previous movies, and it just makes it such a better experience because they reference a ton of things, and then you realize
have
that Captain America never really said Avengers Assemble before, and that was the very first time he said that. Then you realize
That was
the
big, yeah.
importance of Captain America using Mjolnir. Like that wasn't like important to me when I saw it the first time, but when I saw it the second time, like whoa, that's a big deal. So
Yeah.
it was a lot better the second time, but at the same time, it kind of felt a little cliche, ultimately.
I liked it. I think it was good. I think the first movie that I watched was Iron Man 1. I don't think I watched it in theaters, but I remember watching that one like way back when I was like 7 or 8. Because how old was that movie? That movie's like
It's like
Yeah,
2007,
right?
I think
2008.
it's been like
Yeah.
an entire decade, yeah.
Yeah, so I watched that one when I was really young, and I remember watching Incredible Hulk when I was that movie. I don't even think that one deserves to be
Yeah.
listed amongst the other
Let's
movies.
just forget about
but
it, yeah.
I mean, I do remember watching that one. I remember watching Thor 1. I think the first one that I saw in theaters was either Civil War or it might have been Winter Soldier. I don't remember. It was somewhere
Sounds
in
good.
the time.
Sounds
It was
so good.
somewhere in the time frame between Winter Soldier and Civil War. But those because the only movies I hadn't seen leading up to Endgame or no, leading up to Infinity War was Thor: The Dark World and Winter Soldier. But I'd seen all the other ones, so I had to go back and watch those two because you know no one likes. I honestly thought Thor: The Dark World wasn't that bad, but I know that
Yeah,
everyone
I was just about to say
It's
that
alright.
people say that Hulk and Thor Dark World was like the two worst, and I actually
Okay,
enjoyed
Hulk-
Thor Dark World. I thought it was a good movie, but Hulk is
Hulk. I did not.
is a
Hulk I
dumpster
didn't
fire.
enjoy. It wasn't like, yeah, it wasn't
Yes.
really incredible, but I didn't mind Thor: The Dark World. Like, I think they definitely had Thor down when they got to Ragnarok. Like, Ragnarok was
Dude,
peak
Ragnarok.
peak
Yeah.
Thor content,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
Dark World was, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I think people give it a worse rep than it deserves.
Right. Yeah, I know. I agree.
Yeah. I think Thor: The Dark World is always the movie I skip though. Like I'm not even gonna lie. But like Hulk though, I can skip it, but sometimes I just enjoy Edward Norton's performance. I'm like, all right, maybe maybe I'm gonna give it a chance because if isn't it like this? That's the second one, right? That's the second Marvel movie.
Yeah,
I think.
that's the
Yeah, I
second
think
one.
it.
In
I think
order,
Thor came out
no. In
before.
order, no. But in like when it came out,
Release.
it was
I thought
the
Thor
second
1 came
one.
out first.
No.
No, I don't think so. No.
Huh. Never mind then.
No, yeah, because
Because when you're
I don't
watching
even
in
know
order,
because
Captain
like it's been
Marvel's
so
the
long.
first one,
Yeah,
and
no,
then
yeah, and Captain Marvel,
it's
we
Captain
had
America, and then Iron Man, then Hulk.
Captain Marvel wasn't
alright.
terrible. That wasn't one of my favorites either, though.
No, it
Yeah,
wasn't
no.
too bad, but watching it again the second time, it was it was worse than watching it the first time. There's so
uh,
many things that are just not right about it, and I
Yeah,
don't think it's
yeah,
Brie Larson's fault.
I don't think it is
definitely
either.
not.
I think it's just the director. I'm not sure.
They
I
had
think they
like
could have done.
plenty of directors on there, if I do remember. So it wasn't like one vision. It was like everybody just like
Yeah,
shitting out an idea.
yeah.
Right.
They could have done the character really well too. I think, like, because in the comics, dude, she's like insane.
Isn't
Like
Captain
her,
Marvel a
Yeah.
they
man
could
in the comics?
no, they're Captain Marvel.
I
There's
think
somebody
there
else,
was a man. There a dude was Captain Marvel for.
but there was also because there was like female Captain
Yeah.
Marvel, and then there was a
Right.
different.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
I
now
remember
that.
the only thing I was disappointed about in Infinity War was that Silver Surfer wasn't in there. Like I know they don't have the rights to
Oh
him,
yeah.
but Silver Surfer and Galactus, like they had to be in there, man. But they didn't add either of them in, and I was so disappointed. But
That's what I hope the next
Yeah.
villain is. Galacticus, not
It has
Galacticus.
to be. Yeah. Galactus. Yeah.
Galactus, yeah,
Dude,
because
it
he
has
was
to
like
be.
he was the one who took down like Thanos in the comics. He didn't take him
Yeah.
down, but he like was the big asset. He was the only one that could actually talk to all of those higher powers, and it was upsetting to not see him in there. I know they don't have the rights to him, so it wasn't their choice. But
I also wish they had Dormammu as a bigger character than just a one-off thing with Doctor Strange. I think that was kind of a
he was,
letdown.
he that was actually a big complaint I had about Infinity War, because Infinity War is my favorite out of the series. I love that movie so much. Like just
It's
seeing
good.
the collection process and like that fact that Thanos like actually wins. You know, spoiler alert to anyone who hasn't watched the
Spoiler.
movie
Yeah.
yet. But yeah, Thanos obviously he wins, and the one thing that I didn't like about that movie was Doctor Strange's character. He so violently changes from his like because
Yeah.
Doctor Strange
Right.
is one of my favorite movies. Like I know that's a controversial opinion,
I
but the first
love
Doctor
it too.
Strange, his character is incredible, and the universe they build is like amazing. The special effects were awesome, and the reason I like fell in love with his character so much was because he played him so like he just didn't care, you know, like he did, but at the same time, everything was a joke to him. He was the scientist dude who was like, holy cow, I can cast spells now, you know? And then like all of a sudden you switch to Infinity War and he's like, what is up? I am this higher power. And he like floats down from the sky and he's like, I did not confined to this mortal realm. And I was like, what happened to him? What happened to the goofy science character that he was?
No, I think I noticed that too. Like because even at the end of Doctor Strange, where he's fighting Dormammu and he's learning his powers, he's still very new with them. And in the timeline of between Doctor Strange the movie and Infinity War the movie, it's not that long for him to like almost master the arts and become the greatest of them all, like he's supposed to be. I feel like it would take them longer. But then again, if he's supposed to be the greatest of them all, maybe it didn't take him as long as it should
I think
have.
yeah, I think it's cool that he like mastered his powers as fast as he did. I'm just upset that they changed his character so drastically, where he
Yeah,
wasn't like
there is a big difference.
the funny, goofy doctor guy anymore, who was like, "Hey, stab this massive needle in my heart," you know, like he was like all serious and everything. And I was kind of disappointed on that, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Infinity War really was one of the best, just because I mean it brought together like your favorite heroes. Like my personal favorite is like Peter Quill, Star Lord, and just seeing him like bicker with Tony Stark was just like the greatest thing I could ever imagine. Like
they did his character good.
Right, and it looks like you're actually like looking at like you're watching a comic book just like come to life, and they just I love Marvel for that. Like,
Yeah,
actually,
I think
shout
that
out
was
to Marvel
good.
for that.
My favorite,
Yeah.
my favorite is Spider-Man, and if you say anyone else besides Spider-Man, there's something wrong with you. But speaking of Spider-Man, Carlos, I heard that you had some news about the upcoming movie.
I do, yeah. Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, the sequel to Far From Home is catching some fired. It might be getting canceled. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's a lie. No, actually though, it is stirring quite a ruckus in their filming location right now. They're I believe in Atlanta right now, and because with the whole COVID whatever, like shooting is very like it's more restricted now. Like you can't just go out and record a movie wherever
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want.
100%.
So and so they're recording the new Spider-Man movie at these two schools, right? And the parents whose kids go to that school are very upset. They're upset because how come their kids can't go and learn in their school, yet the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man get to crash it at their school. So
Oh no.
it's getting some backlash. Yeah. So like I was just like, all right. So when I read that news, like it was like in bold letters, like Spider-Man's getting canceled. I was like, what? Like, what did he do? Like maybe like Peter Parker like sends out like a racist tweet and like just the whole thing is just getting canceled. Oh no.
Yeah,
But
that's funny.
yeah,
I actually didn't know that. That's so funny.
I mean, I feel like they should have at least stopped production though. It kind of just doesn't seem right that during this whole pandemic they're making a multi-million-dollar budgeted film in a place that's normally not supposed to have people in it.
I need my Marvel fix,
yeah.
man. We haven't had enough movies recently.
Well, I mean, we have Black Widow done. They just haven't released it yet.
Yeah, we were supposed to have Black Widow, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, that next Thor movie that they were coming out with, like the second Doctor Strange movie. Weren't they going to make another Black Panther? Like, there was supposed to be so much, and then now what's going in for the awards it's probably going to be Sonic. The Sonic the Hedgehog movie is probably going to win.
I wouldn't doubt it. Right.
It's going to be that
Birds of Prey movie.
It's going to be that, or like that animated SpongeBob movie, or like Trolls World Tour, or whatever. The Scooby Doo movie. I don't know.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
Really don't know at this point.
This year for movies has kind of sucked, though.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Sonic
it's like
movie wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see it, but I hear that Jim Carrey actually gave a good.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I digged it.
All right, but what's sad about the whole thing is that the whole movie going experience is on the brink of extinction. Like this COVID thing really did fuck up movie theaters.
It did,
all
yeah.
of them.
100%.
Oh my god! And it's so sad because you think about like your greatest memories, and some of them took place at a movie theater. Like maybe like your first kiss or whatever, like it was at a movie theater, and that's just it's gonna be gone. Like that's sad to think about.
It is. That's tough, but I mean
I think
times are changing.
I think the movie theater experience can be improved, but whether or not whatever they do is just gonna die regardless. And the movie theater business was kind of running its course. Like it was coming to an end regardless, and then 2020 happened, and then almost no theaters were making very much money. So it almost was like the final straw, really, to an almost inevitable event of movie theaters not being a thing anymore. And that's going to be kind of a sad thing to ultimately realize when it happens, because it will happen, is when you're like, I don't know, 40 or something, and you have kids, and your kids never know what the experience of going to a movie theater is like. Like if you imagine like a packed movie theater, you have a group of 100 people who just love the movie as much as you do, and is so happy to have that experience with you. You get friends and family together, and you just have a good experience. But their experience is going to be having just a few people in their house on the couch watching a new film. I mean, it won't be special anymore. It won't have that charm that it used to. And I think ultimately that's the most sad thing about losing the movie theater, is that
You're not wrong.
People like our generation and the ones before us know what it's like, but the ones ahead of us will have almost no clue.
100%.
That's so depressing. And like with the news that HBO Max is now going to release all the movies straight. No, it's Warner Bros. That they're going to release their movies straight to HBO Max, which is so devastating, because I feel like that's sort of like the nail to the movie theater's coffin. It's like
the domino
you guys
effect.
are shutting down.
It's the domino effect. Once one goes, they all go.
It's
Then
smart for their
people,
companies though, because like
It's
if
very
you think
smart.
they're cutting out the middleman, so you know they have to pay
facts.
movie theaters to air their movie. They can't just be like, okay, we're gonna air here, and you know like some of the money that they make off of that movie does go to the movie theater, and with them just being able to say, hey, rent out the movie for $20 and you can watch it as many times as you want, then all of a sudden they're making more money because it'll be, you know, a family, like say a family movie comes out, you can buy, rather than buying 7 like $20 tickets for your 5 kids and the 2 parents, you can
Plus
buy
snacks
the
and
movie.
drinks.
Yeah, and it ends up costing like $80 for one movie theater trip. You can rent the movie out for $15, go to Walmart, buy some $1 snacks, and then you have your whole family in a movie night for $20, you know? And the movie company is making more than they would if they had the movies released in the movie theaters. So like as much as it sucks, it's a smart play on their companies.
Right.
Like they'll make more money and the appeal will be higher because like for me, I don't want to pay $20 to watch a movie once by myself, but you know, a huge family is going to be like, this is a steal. You know, I don't have to pay nearly as much as I normally have to. And so it's like, it's a smart move on their part.
It
I
helps
think it
their
sucks,
business, and it it's like almost a perfect storm considering that the movie industry was kind of dying anyway, and you know, uploading movies to Netflix or HBO or Hulu or whatever is what people want now. They want stuff on their TVs in their living rooms, right there and accessible. And just having that and creating the better business model to make more money is just, like I said, a perfect storm to
it
for
is.
the
It really
movie
is.
theaters to end. And it's sad. I'm
Yeah,
sad to
it's
think that
depressing as
movie
hell.
theaters are going
Right.
away.
But hey, yeah, this was inevitable. You know, I feel like movie theaters they've always sort of like they knew that they were like us. Car now, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of I feel like I'm kind of depressed now because I mean I can't really watch the new Batman movie at a movie theater where I should be watching a Batman movie. You know, like it's such like an event, but whatever. I mean, I guess that's over. Another question though that I had was, how did what was it? Yeah, because I know another thing that we also found an interest in was in like anime. You know, what are you watching right now?
Me personally,
Yeah, yeah,
right
anime
now,
in circle.
I am in the middle of watching Death Note, and I enjoy it a lot. I think it's really good. Plot's really good, very entertaining. A lot of mystery behind it. It's well, personally one of the favorites I've watched so far. I mean, I haven't watched nearly as much I think either of you guys have, but I personally am enjoying it very much right now, and I'm excited to see where they take this because it is very intriguing.
I've never seen Death Note, but that's probably gonna be the one that I watch next because I hear nothing but wonders from Death Note. Have
Dude,
you seen it,
it's
Brandon?
No, but it is like you on my next up. I'm watching One Punch Man right now, and
I love
that
that one.
is a very good anime.
It's
Um,
so great. Yeah.
if you're a fan of My Hero Academia, you're gonna love One Punch Man as well.
the
And Jacob, I don't understand. Like, I get like the community is toxic or
people
whatever,
scare me.
but I mean, it's such a good show though. Like, you can enjoy a good show and not be involved in the fan base. That's how I am. I think it's a very
Dude,
good
I don't
show.
know. I don't know. Those people just scare me, man. Like down to my bones. I get rattled seeing those videos. Like I don't want to. I don't want to get circled around and like have people chant things at me while I'm just trying to walk down the street on my day-to-day life. Like it looks so terrifying.
I
As
mean,
I've
Yeah,
said
but
before,
we've
I will watch.
we've both seen Attack on Titan, and we've seen the things you send to our group chat. So I mean,
Yeah, okay, but those are funny.
it's not any different though.
I
it's
would
a nightmare.
I would watch the entirety of One Piece before I will watch a single episode of My Hero Academia.
What's so bad about One Piece though?
Nothing. It's just
What's the
long.
slander behind it?
There's no
Really?
slander behind it. No, it's just the fact that it's like 1,200 episodes, and so
Oh shit! Yeah, no.
that's
I think Yeah, I think some of the best animes are just like one season with like 50 or
100%.
something episodes. I feel like boom, you nail it, you're done. Go home, make another one. But and also One Punch Man. I feel like that's how many episodes? Isn't it like it's been such a long time since I've seen it. How many episodes isn't that one?
I think there was 12, 10 or 12 in
12.
the
Oh
in the
wow,
first
yeah.
season, and the second season is about the same. So I'd say around 20 to 25 episodes. I haven't checked how many episodes there are. I've just watched it, and it's a very good show. I recommend anybody
It's
to
good.
watch it, even if you're not into
Yeah, you gotta watch
anime.
it, Jacob.
You're like you feel like you're watching Teen Titans back in like the early 2000s. That's how it feels, and it's just a joyful experience. There's few shows that Carlos has seen. There's like that like brings me back to my childhood, or a few games that are that way. And One Punch Man brought me back to my childhood in the way where it was classic Teen Titans or classic Batman on Cartoon Network or something. It feels like a fresh new experience to a genre that's, very popular right now with Marvel. It's a different take on things to where someone's so powerful they can kill anything with one punch. And it's just an interesting thing. Anyway,
You gotta watch it, Jacob. One Punch
yeah,
Man,
Jake,
bro.
you gotta
It's
get
really
on
good.
it.
I will.
But first, you gotta watch Cowboy Bebop just
I'm
because
gonna
that's
I'm gonna do that one first.
it's
But
so good, dude. It's so attractive. Like you watch one episode and instantly you're like, oh my god, this is eye porn. Like, what am I watching? Because I feel like, and this is one of the problems that Brandon told me. He didn't really tell me, but he said that he didn't enjoy it because he couldn't get much into the story. Right? Isn't that what he said, or what did you say? I don't want to.
Yeah, I thought the intro was fantastic. First and foremost, the
Right?
intro
Yeah.
was awesome, but it was just kind of boring. I would like if there was a long going villain that they were chasing. They couldn't gather him and blah blah blah. But no, I've seen like 3 episodes or something. In every episode, there's a new bad guy to go get, and I just don't. There's the biggest issue is there's no character development. Like with the heroes, obviously.
You watch 3 episodes.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what. But I feel like 3 episodes is a pretty good trial to figure out whether you like something or not. But with the heroes, you learn things about them, obviously, because they're like the main characters. But with the bad guys, things that make shows good is you learn things about the bad guys, why they are who they are, and their reasons for being that, and their flaws, and their whether they're right or wrong or something. But with every episode of Cowboy Bebop, it just seems like you don't learn anything. You just, oh, that guy's bad. Let's go get him, and then they either get him or they don't, and then you move on. It just, it's the character development
Yeah.
isn't
Okay.
there really for me, and it kind of just turned me off.
It's like the
I can see
entirety
that.
of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, man. Like they literally
Really.
chase someone, beat him up, and then run, and then chase someone else and beat him up and then run.
Yeah, and I feel like
It's
that's
like-
I feel like that's the issue with the Mandalorian too. Like every episode, you're like, oh, we have this small thing to do, ends up in a giant battle, and then you leave fine.
I haven't seen
Dude,
that second
no
season yet.
Mandalorian slander, please. I like Mandalorian. Like,
I
I'm
liked
not
the first
caught up
season.
on
The first season was great.
Season
The
one's
second
good, right?
season
Season one's
is,
good.
in my
Not as
opinion,
good.
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Just because you're
Yeah,
going
I
to a
don't
new
know.
place, big fight, you leave. End of episode.
Yeah, but you encounter some of the most amazing characters in Star Wars fucking universe or whatever. Like it's why like Baby Yoda. Like, where do you come up with that? And you're with him the entire fucking journey.
I don't know. The first season was really good. The second season was kind of a turnoff. Hopefully they make the third season better, because obviously there's going to be a third season. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Actually, I don't think they've released all of season 2 yet. I think they only released.
No,
no,
they
I think they have a couple more episodes. Yeah, but yeah. Now that we kind of diverted from the original topic, but Cowboy Bebop. I don't know if you've heard this, but it's one of the animes that are getting a live adaptation right now, and
Oh,
I'm
shit.
very like skeptical when it comes to live adaptations, especially because it's coming from Netflix. So that's you really gotta be careful when you go into it. But I know what was that one live adaptation that was just horrendous. I think it was
The last
Avatar,
Airbender.
right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Horrendous. Horrendous.
Horrible.
That is my
That was a
favorite. That is one of my favorite TV shows of all time, just because watching it as a kid, and the rewatchability on it is like incredible. And when it got its resurgence, I was so happy. Like when it got added to Netflix and like everyone was posting about it, there was a bunch of like the fan base was back again. I was so excited because I hadn't seen this since like I was super super young, and to see it come back, I was like yes. But I remember everyone was so hyped for the live adaptation, and it was just a steaming pile of garbage. And apparently they were, I don't know if they're still going to do this, because they were going to do another live adaptation, but it was going to be like the whole show, and it was going to be a Netflix series. But I saw an article on it that said the two original creators for Avatar: The Last Airbender left the production team for the live action one for Netflix because they said like they had conflicting views or something like that.
Oh no.
And so I'm really worried that like it's just going to be absolute garbage, because it's bad if the creators are like,
Yeah.
we don't want our name in this. Have fun. Like, yeah, I'm worried for that, but I don't know, hopefully it's better.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But Cowboy Bebop, I mean, I don't know how to feel about it because Netflix is already butchering the Last Airbender, But I mean, they have John Cho as an actor, so if he's playing Spike, I'm cool. I feel like one of the big issues I had with the Netflix adaptations was sort of like Death Note, right? Didn't they also like whitewash the cast?
Did they have a live adaptation of that?
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they did.
It sounds familiar
know
though.
that.
On Netflix.
Interesting.
Oh, they did a movie for it, didn't they?
Yeah, no, yeah. I didn't. I watched it, but I think that sort of also has to do with why I didn't. I haven't watched Death Note yet because I feel like I watched the live adaptation, which is the last thing you really want to do when you're gonna watch anime.
100%.
I feel like it ruins the experience, right?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I think anime is one of the most important things that that brought us together. And I know Brandon and I, we also sort of like share some takes on whatever we're watching, right, Brandon?
Yeah. One thing that I'm kind of sad about, being an anime watcher is like there's a ton of people that watch anime, and there's a ton of people, like famous people, that even watch it. There was I think Joel Embiid, a player for the 76ers for NBA, was watching anime before he was actually playing in a game. And like that's funny and it's nice and it's all that, but no matter who watches it, it's almost like a shunned thing to where, oh, you watch anime? Oh yeah, oh, like
Right,
it's kind of sad because there's some really good shows on it, like in anime, and you can really enjoy some good narratives. But if you're like, oh yeah, I watch anime, then people are like, oh, you watch anime? Oh,
Yeah, it's very slept on.
like
Facts,
it's just
facts.
kind of sad, and I wish people gave it a chance, instead of just being like, oh, this is an anime kid,
I mean, that's coming from the guy who watches My Hero Academia, so I mean,
It's a good show. It's a good show. I don't understand why you hate it so much.
No,
I mean, I get it because the fan base is kind of yeesh, but still, I mean, you can still watch a TV show and not participate in the fandom of it. I just wished you would watch it because I know for a fact you would enjoy it. It's really good show.
Maybe I'll give it a chance one of these days, but
Keep in mind that the
I don't
first
know.
few episodes are kind of hard to get into, but when you're like in episode 4, it's just beautiful.
Dude, Brandon, did you really tell him that the first 3 episodes are hard to get to and slander Cowboy Bebop for the first 3 episodes? What is that?
Because you said that when I described the first couple episodes, it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of how the entire show is. I'm like, oh, obviously that's a hell of a turnoff. I'm not gonna go watch it.
No, but I mean, Cowboy Bebop, like with every episode, you learn something about the crew, and I don't think it's until like episode, I want to say 10, 11, I don't know. I'm still kind of slow. I'm rewatching right now that you get the entire Cowboy Bebop crew, and it's something that you really have to have the patience for. But still, I feel like with every episode, you just see some like crazy, out of this world visuals that like, oh my god, like I feel like I can only watch this in a movie, and it's sort of weird that you're like watching it in like in an anime, you know. And I think it's one of the, it shows how slept on animes truly
But
are.
I
You know, I
just
think we could really give it the recognition.
I just enjoy like TV shows, movies, games, all of those things when you know a lot about the good guy and you know a lot about the bad guy, and together it makes a good narrative. And with Cowboy Bebop, it just there's a good guy and there's almost no narrative to the bad guy other than he's bad, and that just I can't get into that. It's just not my thing. Maybe I'll give it another chance just for Carl's sake, but
Yeah, but Jacob has to watch One Punch Man first because I
yeah,
cannot get enough of
One
One
Punch
Punch
Man
Man.
is so good, and I'm sad that it took
It
four
really is.
years for the second season to come out, and the third season hasn't even been in development yet because of COVID. But yeah, I wish there was more because I'm just so like into it. Oh, and Jacob,
Yeah.
Attack on Titan season 4 is coming out in 3 days.
That's nuts, dude.
I didn't even realize
Psyched
that
for it.
until I looked it up just before this recording. Like that's
Psyched for it, man.
nuts. I'm so excited for that.
That's gonna be so good. I hope so. I hope it's gonna be good. I have high hopes.
I feel like people are gonna
I
kind
think
of I feel like people are gonna get like give a bad rep to it because I have a good feeling that the first half of season 4 is gonna be learning about the spoiler the Marlians and like where Rhina and Bertolt uh,
Annie.
and
I think there's gonna be a lot of Annie development in
yeah
this one.
there's gonna be a lot of backstory to that area of story, and then we're not gonna get into actually like fights between the
Yeah,
Eldians and the Marlians until the second half, and that's gonna
I
be released in
guarantee.
like
Yeah,
the springtime. So I feel like people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, this sucks! It's just a whole bunch of backstory. Where's gonna get it interesting?" And but in my opinion, I enjoy backstory. Enjoy learning about where things came from and stuff like that.
definitely.
So
Yeah, dude,
I
I
know I'm
want
gonna
more.
enjoy it, whether no matter what they do, as long
I
as it
just
doesn't
want.
suck.
There needs to be more. Gene screen time. Gene is one of my favorite characters, and he gets no screen time, and it makes me so upset. His
Who's
character is so incredible,
Gene? You mean
and
Jean?
he's the I don't know whatever his name is. It's spelled like Gene. Maybe it is Jean. I don't know, but I say Gene because it's funnier.
Are you
It's
talking
spelled
about
like
the
that.
guy that's like pretended to be Aaron twice?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's a cool character, and especially since he was so focused on becoming an MP, and then he transferred to becoming a scout.
yeah.
I just
He just doesn't get enough screen time. He needs more. So I'm
I
psyched to see what they do.
I don't think I've ever watched is it Attack on Titan, right? Yeah, I've never
Yeah,
seen that
yeah.
one.
You need
It's
to.
also on my list though.
It's
Yeah, but
good.
yeah.
One of my favorite
I don't
shows.
think there's a point in the show where it's like, oh, that's kind of boring. Let's just move on. It's always interesting.
Yeah, no.
yeah,
It's
that's
hard to
hard.
put down.
Yeah.
It's hard to put down. Like there were nights where I was like 2 a.m. Okay, I gotta go to bed. I can't watch another episode. I'm gonna pass out. Like it was good.
And when you watch an anime, do you like read the comic before, or do you
I don't.
really
No,
worry
that's
about it? Really?
too much money.
Yeah, when
I
if
can't buy all
there's
that.
a point in my life where I can afford to buy not luxuries but uh, things that I won't necessarily need, then buying like a manga to an anime that I've really liked would definitely be one of the things that I would purchase. It's a lot like buying comic books for characters that I like and superheroes. Because I haven't really read much comic books because I simply can't, afford to spend the time and money to get to comic books. So definitely like manga and comic books are definitely the things that'd be interesting buying in the future.
Yeah, I've always loved comic books. I think I think it was fourth grade when I really that was my first step into like nerd culture. You know, when you pick up your first comic book, it's like your world is just, like, oh my god, like Spider-Man can talk to Iron Man. Like, what is this? And I know you, Jacob. You're also into like comic books. What's like? Have you read anything interesting lately?
No, I don't think so. I haven't really gone comic book shopping. One of the comic books that I do want to read is the I think that's the Batman versus Joker comics. They're like
The Dark Knight Returns.
No, it's the ones with like the Court of Owls. What is that series? Like the whole like that
I know
whole
what you're
Batman
talking
series.
Yeah, Oh my god, dang!
There's
I
like
don't know.
5 books in that series, and apparently it's like really, really good. And I wanted to read that one. My dad has all of them, so I might read those. But recently, no, I haven't been very up to date on those comic book stuff. But I want to read those ones really bad because it looks good.
DC, dude, they have such great comic books. I mean, like, yeah, sure, Marvel is like, miles ahead in the movie game, but like DC comic books, dude, forget about it. Like,
Yeah.
I was reading this one comic book the other day. It's sort of like a what if comic book, like what if Superman landed in Russia, Soviet Russia, instead of like Kansas, and dude, it's like the craziest shit ever, dude. I'm telling you, like. Well, dude, oh my God, I have such bad memory, but yeah, I mean, it takes such like an absurd concept, but yeah, it finds a way to just make it interesting and makes you want to like, finish the book, which is, I think, like now that I read a comic book, it's sort of like kind of hard to, get back into like that child mindset that you're like, oh yeah, this is incredible, because now it's like, like I could be reading like a novel right now,
Yeah.
but it's a great comic book. You have to read it. It's called Superman Red Sun. Watch,
I'll have to,
read it. Yeah, put it in your list. Brandon, have you read any like good comic books that
I haven't read anything DC. The few comic books I've read is when the few times like I've been at Barnes and Noble. And mainly it was just random Spider-Man comic books and just flipping
dude,
through it, seeing what happens. I haven't really.
the old first edition Stan Lee Spider-Man comic books are next level, man. Those things are incredible. I
unmatched,
have so many of those, and they are so good.
I
my
think
personal favorite
Spider-Man would
though.
be probably the first hero that I read about because that's my favorite. Ever since I was a kid, that Spider-Man has been my favorite. And I know
Spider-Man's
Spider-Man has
one
a
of my favorite
large following of fans, but and it's almost like a cliche to say, "Oh, Spider-Man's my favorite." But ever since I was a kid, I was just always into Spider-Man. I've always I remember being Spider-Man for like one of the Halloweens that I did. I remember watching the animated series, like the 400 different animated series, all the time on TV. I remember I had a movie collection and it was a single disc. It was not multiple discs, but it was like um, uh, one of those things where there's multiple episodes on one CD, and I'd watch those back to back, over and over, for days. I remember there was one show that was ending on the movie, and my sister wanted to watch something else, and she's like, "Look, it's over, it's over." I'm like, "No, it's just getting started. There's like 5 more episodes of this," and she got mad at me. But yeah, I've always been a Spider-Man fan. I've always wanted to write the comics, and in the future, I definitely will.
Yeah, I get it. I think Spider-Man is such like an interesting character because you can really see anybody in Spider-Man. Like he's one of the few characters whose whole body is just covered. So like even like when you're like reading comic books as a kid, you're like, oh my god, like I can see myself in Spider-Man just swinging around like doing the everything for like the greater good,
Yeah.
And I mean Stanley, he created Spider-Man, right? And
Yep.
right, he did.
Yep.
Yeah, he
Him
did. Yeah.
and yeah, oh my god,
Stanley's baby was Spider-Man. That's kind of I was really sad to see Stanley go when he did
right,
because
dude.
I think he was in production of the first Spider-Man movie for Marvel, but he wasn't in any of the other ones. And obviously, there's going to be
Mhm.
cameos, and he's still going to be in it because Spider-Man was his baby. But he wouldn't be able to direct Spider-Man in the way he would like to see it in the film industry. And I just think that was a very key factor in loving the character of Spider-Man. And I'm really curious to see what they do now since the founder of him is gone.
Yeah, rest in peace, Stanley. We're
Let's
gonna have
get
a
Stanley
moment of
on the
silence for
podcast,
Stanley at
guys.
the end. Dude, come on. uh, yeah, but another thing that I was watching the other day. I don't know if you guys are much interested in like superhero TV shows, or have you guys ever like seen any?
I actually haven't.
Um,
No,
not anything on Disney
I want to
Bro,
Plus or anything,
watch.
just the animated series.
I
I
don't
heard
think Disney
Daredevil
Plus
was
has
really good.
released any. Daredevil's so good, dude. I could talk about Daredevil for hours. I
I need
mean,
to watch that one.
it's literally like a Marvel movie brought down to like the Dark Knight's like gritty. sort of theme that they got going on. But yeah, I think Daredevil, and they have 3 seasons, and I think they got canceled just because with the whole Marvel is going to focus on the Disney Plus or whatever. I think that, and they recently had a campaign to bring back what's his name, Charlie Cox as Daredevil, and I'm here for it. I think Daredevil really blew it out of the park. They just like had found a way to just like bring these sort of like goofy characters like Kingpin, like that one big dude, like that small
Yeah,
head, like dude, they made you fear the guy, and it's like what the hell? And you guys have to check it out. Watch it. Actually, watch Daredevil season 1, 2,
okay.
3.
I'll have to.
Spider-Verse is a fantastic movie.
Oh, Spider.
That was one of my favorites,
really
honestly.
good.
I watched it
was,
for the
the
second
animation
time.
style was
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah,
I watched it for the
Hot
second
take,
time a
best
few
Spider-Man
few
movie.
days ago. It was
yeah,
a
I
great
think
experience.
it's the best Spider-Man movie, just because I mean it takes the best out of every Spider-Man movie and it just brings it into one. It's such a treat to just watch it.
It
You
is.
know.
I can't wait until like the big box films will bring in Miles Morales because I think just that character
Mhm.
alone is so interesting, and he has more powers, so they can do more with what
Yeah.
Spider-Man can do.
Yeah,
Like
what was his like special power? I don't remember. What he can like shock people, right?
it's
Does he have,
Venom
like, lightning
power,
webs?
Venom something, and he can be invisible. Like those are basically the two main things.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And there's so much they can do with that, and I don't know. I don't want to say I want Peter Parker to die, but I mean, it wouldn't be a bad death. It would be sad, of course. It'd be like, to me, it'd be like losing Iron Man at the end of Endgame. But I mean, Miles Morales, though, he's a cool character.
Facts. So Jacob, anything interesting going on in your life right now? Anything you like to share?
Right now, I got nothing going on except for work and school. And it is just the same cycle over and over and over again. I'm so excited for it to be done. At this rate, it's probably never going to end. So I'm in.
Yeah, we'll see. But and how's like quarantine learning? Like, how is that going for you? 'Cause I know some people are actually taking some fun out of it. Like you're away from like the normal desks and whatever, and you're back like in the comfort of your own home. Like how's it treating you?
It's harder for me to pay attention because I have everything to do at my fingertips in my house, like video games, drawing, reading. I can play the drums. I can do whatever I want and just turn the Zoom meeting on in the background and just kind of tone it out. And so it's kind of hard. Like the other day, I think we were in the middle of, I don't even know what class it was, but I had my Black Ops Cold War Zombies game going in the background, and I was just grinding it out while the Zoom meeting was in front of me, and then I would get my name called, and I would be like, yeah, just like wing my answers. So it's been fun for me, but at the same time, I can see my performance kind of crashing a little bit. So it's a double-edged sword.
All right, yeah, I know Brandon. I know he's also not that big of a fan of. Or are you? Because I know we talked.
I actually like it a
you
lot.
said
I actually
really
like it a lot.
what?
Crazy, man.
Because I can do my own schedule, and they don't overload us with assignments or anything. See, the thing
That's true.
that I like about it is I don't have to spend 8 hours of school and then do homework. That just seems so counterintuitive to me. I feel like school should be for school and homework should be almost abolished. Now I understand if there's things that we need to do at home or whatever, but specifically assigning us things to do at home is ridiculous because we have things to do. People are busy. People don't have the right environments to do homework. People who have to, like, parents are working all the time and they have to take care of their siblings, probably won't have time or have the best performance on their homework. And then compared to a person that is maybe not rich or whatever, but is fortunate enough to have an environment where they can perform good with their homework, they'll have like a better opportunity than the person who has to take care of their siblings. It's such a bad system of doing things, and I don't like it. But with Zooms, I can plan my own schedule. I feel like I'm not wasting my time. The teachers give us the lessons they need simply because they have 2 days a week to teach us. Then they give us homework after that, and that's due in a week. I can plan so much, and I can do so much in that span of time, and it's like it is homework, but I still don't have to waste my time 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week at school. I just feel like I'm
It's
doing
convenient. Yeah.
a lot more
I can respect
things.
it.
And if there was
Yeah.
school, like an 8 hour a day school, plus homework, plus sports, plus my job, everything, we would never be able to do this podcast. Never. There
Yeah.
would just be not enough time in a week or a month or a day even. There's not enough time. But since I can plan my own schedule and I can do things at my own rate, we can do it. This is what I'm talking
Shout
about.
out
Like I can
COVID,
do,
right?
I can do certain things that I wouldn't normally be able to do. And I'm
That's like that's my enemy. Is I suck at planning. I just kind of like, I go with the flow. Whatever's happening, it's happening. And so, for me, it's like not good because then I look at my assignments that I need to turn in. And I'm like, oh, I got like 10 things I need to turn in right now. So I have to like grind it out last minute and then repeat the cycle again just because I'm not good at scheduling myself. I like to kind of run by what everyone else is doing.
no, this whiteboard over here is all of my assignments, and when I get them assigned, I write it down. And until I have it done, it's going to stay on that board. Once it's done, it's erased, since I don't have to think about it. That's how I usually take
That's
care
smart.
of business. Once everything on here is done, I can do whatever I want, really.
You're a very organized person. I respect that from you. But that can never be me, though. I feel like I'm too much of a procrastinator. Like I always like whenever I get an assignment, I just put in the back of my mind. I'm like, all right, we'll worry about that next. And when it comes to the next, I'm like, oh my god, now what? Yeah. But,
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of Jacob.
Oh man,
dude. But I mean, that's why I love Jacob though, just because we're so much like alike, like all of us. You know, we always have these distinct personality traits that we can see in each other, and I think that's what that makes for a good friendship. So
it does.
yeah.
It does.
It's great to it's great to have you here, Jacob. Now some closing thoughts. From you yourself.
Oh, from me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Brandon. I don't know. I don't really have any closing thoughts. It pretty much got everything out there that I really wanted to talk about. I mean, I think that was a pretty good discussion we had there.
Oh yeah, facts. It feels like the old days when we were just like sitting in the lockers, like mixing different fucking foods together.
Oh my god,
dude.
that was atrocious.
Oh
just
God.
corn throwing up back in the bottle, man. Just ended me. I was like, you just sitting there like, getting it all back up. I was like, all right, man, go ahead, just throw up all over the place.
Do you guys remember when we made that one smoothie? Like we mixed like all sorts. I think it was like fruits and everything. We just like all put it. Was it like a blender? What did we mix?
I don't even know what we mixed it in. We somehow mixed it though.
It was good though. I won't even lie to you. Like I was like, damn.
I didn't try it.
Like, really,
good
dude. It was kind of good.
Because there was like 10 people drinking
I
out
did
of one
taste
bottle, and I'm not gonna do
Corn
that.
threw up in it. Corn threw up in it.
That was, dude. That must have been after because I did not drink corn.
I did not know. I didn't. I think he was the last one to go. I think he was the last one.
Oh yeah.
Disclaimer: this story is before COVID.
Oh
yeah. It's like
before
2
COVID.
years prior. We got the virus going around. We're all like throwing up in the same bottle. All right, guys, take a swig.
All right.
Yeah, no.
All right, Brandon, hit us with some delightful news. What do you got for us?
One news article that I found was I can't pull it up right now because it's not on my phone and I'm recording, but it was the classic Florida man. But instead of the Florida man doing something crazy or stupid and like breaking into jail to hang out with his friends or something like that, something totally out of this world, it was actually quite nice. There was a man, don't remember his name because I don't have it pulled it up right now, but there was a man who was giving away a car. It was a very old car, but in really good condition. It was like a Ford something or other that his grandma was using. And he gave it away for free to a man who didn't have a car. And people who saw this got inspired to do their own serving to the community. Like this, it was like another domino effect that we were talking about earlier with movies. That this one good thing happened where I don't know, a $1,500 car was given for free to a person who didn't have one, and then all these other people did a certain amount of good deeds into their community. So I just thought that was interesting, especially since we all make fun of Florida for being fucking weird as hell. So yeah, that was my good news of the day.
That was sweet. Shows you the
That
best
is
in
good.
humanity.
I know. It's good to see that, especially now with everyone going into chaos. And
Yeah, especially in Florida. Am I right?
Oh yeah, dude. We're gonna get like hate comments. Like fuck you. Oh no. All right. Well, my good news is it's sweet. It's sweet. It has to do with animals. The world's loneliest elephant, Kavan. I think I'm probably butchering my man's name, but the world's loneliest elephant has who spent almost 3 decades alone at I think it's a zoo with nobody else. I think his partner passed away in 2012, so since then he's just been living by himself. He was recently transported to where was it? Hold on. He was transported to the Cullen Prom Tep Wildlife Sanctuary, where he has met several friends, and it shows how because this was started through a campaign. They said bring the world's loneliest elephant to some of his own kind, and it happened. So it's great to see my man's with people.
Yeah.
With
Animals need that, man. Like you can even, especially elephants. Like elephants are known to be like such compassionate animals. So like, I feel like they kind of need that animal to animal connection, or it's not really the best for them.
Isn't elephants like blood type the closest to us, or something that's like related to elephants in some way?
I have no clue. Probably. I don't know. They're big. That's all I know.
They're big
These are
fellas.
such interesting creatures.
Yeah, I'm sad that they're going, extinct.
Right.
But I feel like that's a good thing with COVID, since there's a disease going around. People can't go killing them. Yeah.
Facts. All right. So be on the lookout for elephants. Please take care of them. If anybody's listening out there, make sure to pet your local elephant and wish them well. But I think that does it for today's episode. It's been a great one. It's been great talking to you, Jacob. Like always, you're my man. I love you. Brandon, thoughts?
I could talk about a little bit more of what we talked about earlier, but I feel like Jacob, to where we kind of covered it all. So instead, I'm going to say to our viewers, one, thank you for watching. But two, again, we are a new podcast. This is our second episode. So be patient with us. We are trying our best and learning to our best capabilities of what we want to be and how we're going to do what we're going to do and other things like that. We're going to have a 10 episode season. And at the end of the season, we're going to reevaluate things and figure out how we're going to do things in the future. But until then, right now, we're just in the baby phase of our channel or our Spotify or whatever. And just be patient. I mean, we're going to grow, we're going to learn, and we're going to provide the best quality content that we can possibly give you guys.
Thanks. Yeah. You nailed it. So yeah, please be patient with us. But other than that, thank you. It's been great talking with you guys. Until next time, until next Sunday, this is the Last Act Podcast.